South Fork of the Little Conemaugh River. The river is named Conemaugh by the Delaware Indians and means Little Otter or Otter River. In the 1880s, it was a clear, cold mountain stream noted for its great trout fishing. Thus, it served as an excellent feeder stream for Lake Conemaugh. Once dammed up, it provided the club with a body of water 2 miles long and in places a mile wide, ideally suited for members, sailboats, and steamboats. Looking at the area we just left, which was the bottom of the, looking down the path, just came up, and then up to the top of the abutment of Lake Conemaugh Dam. 500 acres, 65 feet at the dam. Sportsman's clubhouse with the South Fork Fishing and Hunting Club is located up the lake on the south shore of present St. Michael's. You can see on the distance shore the future visitors, new visitors. And I'm standing at this location on the approximate edge of the water the day the dam broke. Looking at a picture of the future site, visitor center on the Unger House. Directly opposite, you can see the opposite side of the dam and the abutment. And slightly to the right, still further up, visitor center in the Unger. And the developing pathway to the dam. Folks, I forgot to take it off. So I'm going to swing up over the hill, dam site, the Unger House, the visitor center, back down, pathway under construction. Started the dam site and swing upward to the Conemaugh River, which in 1889, on May 31st, when this dam collapsed, was Lake Conemaugh, built by groups of wealthy people for their boating and fishing pleasures. And according to history, a group of people who apparently ignored the warnings of knowledgeable people danger that their earthing construction and their man-made lake presented to the people of Johnstown.
You ever heard of taking moving pictures in the cemetery? That's where we are, and this is Dave Gardner and Mary Gardner. Dave, or Fred rather, not Dave. Fred was my granddad, George Vincent Gardner's brother. He lived right above the grammar school. The house is no longer there. A new one was built next to it, behind it, like. Behind that, alongside of it was my granddad's house, George Vincent Gardner. George Vincent Gardner was the son of George Vincent Gardner and the brother of Charles, my dad, and Russ, Cole, and Annie. He was gassed in World War I and apparently died of the effects at 37. Alva, there is Charlotte's mother, George was her father, Jack is her brother. This is George Vincent Gardner, father of Charles, Russell, Annie, and Edward. His wife Mary, who was not Catholic and at the time could not be buried alongside of George, is buried over on the cemetery off of North Richard Street. David Gardner died in 1941, 42 years old, and David was the son of Fred Gardner, had brothers and sisters of Joe and Clyde and Hebby and Dennis and it seems like there should be another one or two that escaped from mind at this moment. Actually, Cumberland Road. And at the present, we're looking back what we called right there to look at. Back on over what my dad called the green, which is this area in here. This is the time his youth was meadow, and the housing development. As you can see, was formerly the Pennsylvania Hotel, and I think now is still down the hill trying to find Dave Gardner, my great-grandfather. So, and Ida Gardner, the father of Bill, who was killed in World War II on the follow-up invasion of Europe. Dorothy, who married Harry Sturts, and they moved on Harry's retirement to Arizona. Ida was a deal from Rainsburg, and a large part of her family, or some part of it, moved to Joe Gardner, son of Fred Gardner. Brother to Clyde and Abby and Dave. And I can't think of the others. There's one lived down around Pottsville, up near the very top of the hill of the cemetery, the last road up anyways. Looking back across Bedford, and we see the spire of St. Thomas Church. St. Thomas Catholic Church. And I'm taking a picture right alongside and to the rear of the statues and the monument and the shrine, whatever. Around to the front of it. We're in the old cemetery looking at the original Catholic Church established by Prince Gallitzin. It's on the corner of East and John Street in Bedford, opposite the high school. And I think we have found David Gardner's grave. Now, we haven't determined which one's which. At this point, one small tombstone, very slightly, or apparently not marked. Then the one next to it, which is slightly larger, is David, and we haven't been able to bring out any of the printing except David. And the one next to that is Sarah A., David, and Catherine Gardner. The only date we can make out on it is died 1866. As we continue on up about 20 degrees and raise the camera up over the stop sign, standing in the corner of the athletic field, looking towards what I think was once houses. Same street that Croft and I believe Jennings lived in that house. We're going down the mountain up in the back of the stadium. apparently press box. And a tent set up for their gala anniversary prom. Students busy setting up the chairs in the back of the school. We're looking for what I think is Drenny's house on John Street. I think this is Housel's. The next house we're looking at is where Croft lived before that Doc Esky. And the house on the corner, I should know, they built a house just down the block, moved out somewhere, sometime after we moved. The house behind the white van truck is where Hirschbergers lived. And we move on up back of those trees, Cam Donahue. This building's where the old school or tennis courts used to be. I think this part, and I'm not certain because of the fire damage and what was rebuilt or restored or whatever, but that should be the old gymnasium and auditorium. Now we're swinging back around to the opposite end of the fields with the mountains and the Narrows in the background. I walked the length of the football field to the opposite end, walking parallel to John Street, away from Bedford Street. What I think was the old original color brick indicates to me where the new addition was built. Continue to swing on around towards the parking lot. Track, ball diamond, and again up into the area of the Scheimer Estates, covered by trees, and then the new middle school. This area, when I lived here, was all meadows and woodland, and during the 36, 37 flood, 35, 36 flood, that entire area was covered with water. Looking out over the green building in the background towards the Narrows, once again, a little to the right of it, and over the building was apparently two doors and two windows. You can see the road out of Bedford to the Narrows.
We've taken all of the pictures.
How are you, Charles?
Oh, fine. You?
Oh, I'm great. You have anything to say for the people back in Baltimore now? Standing in front of the high school on the opposite side of the street. See Charles Sape and his wife. that's Betty with him. Anniversary. Swing back around, I see they got a for sale sign in front of what was the old candy store. I see the corner of it, see the porch of this house. I'm standing at the corner of the house that Denny Arnold formerly lived in.
Every June, wasn't it?
Every June.
And I lived out there when I was Ida Mayfield. And this little Peggy, she was thin and cute and quick, you know. I knew her pretty well through the gardeners. And one day my sister, who looked a lot like me, was in the 5 and 10. And she didn't know Peggy, but Peggy thought Peggy thought her name. And they were at a counter where they had a clothespin. And Peggy walked up to my sister and snapped his clothespin on her nose, and there stood my sister with his clothespin hanging on her nose. And she didn't know Peggy from Adam. But anyhow,
What's your married name?
Bailey, Ida Mae Bailey.
Ida Mae Bailey. Thank you. Come on, Esther. Tell me something, huh? Tell me something.
Well, F. June, I'm telling you, you stole my boyfriend from me.
Uh-oh. Which one was that?
Oh, I'm not telling you because Russell's standing here. Well, I have 5 grandchildren, 3 girls, 2 grandsons, and I'm now Russell Hickson, and next time we have our anniversaries, I want you.
What class were you in, Bill?
61.
61?
Yeah. 90.
How about you, Craig?
90.
When do you graduate? 90?
Yep.
That makes you a sophomore.
Junior.
Well, a junior this coming fall, right? What class are you in? You teach.
What class were you in? 62.
What's your name?
You have to ask her.
I'm not asking. I'm asking Catherine what her name is and what class. And what class were you in?
He's a Bedford High School graduate.
1925, and you're a long time ready. You were born and raised in Bedford, and then retired from Harrisburg. Is that right? He's shaking your head. You're not going to tell me a darn.
Raised in this house.
In this house, and you just supervised a painting job yesterday,
Yeah, we haven't even pulled up the masking tape.
and it really looks great. We got one of the painters here.
Yeah.
Now you came
Still
from.
have to pull up the masking tape.
Here you have a new subject.
I can't even see it. I mean, I can see your stand. Somebody said we could fresh paint. Well, just the color dry on for it. That's okay.
Oh.
Well, that's all right.
Don't know me. No. Oh, it's been a long time. I used to live right up here. This third, second house up? About? I don't know what. That was upstairs on the greenhouse? Yep. And I used to go down here and play some lot. Can't play shit. Remember Dolly? Oh, you Dolly. First yesterday. How are you?
That's right. That's right. That's Dolly. What, was she in Catherine's class?
I knew quite a few of them, but nobody in our
In that greenhouse where Bouncers live now.
Well, Ray graduated in 28.
No, he graduated when I was 25.
Did he though? I didn't know that. I thought he said 28.
He must be making up for his graduated when I come
Well,
again.
I left my car up at my aunt, so I'm going to have to go pretty soon. Or they'll lock the door and I will get my pocketbook, and I won't be able to use my car.
That'd be bad.
Yes, it would. I'm going down the street, but I'm not going to walk. I'm going to ride.
Maybe there might be too many cars downtown.
Oh, I'll find a place to park. I might have to walk an hour or two, but I don't care. I brought a pair of shoes on this walk. I can walk in.
Lived in Reese Harker, Bedford and Watson Street. High school was right down the half a block down the street. This is where my uncle lived, Russ Gardner. Next house was the house my dad, my mom lived in. I spent a few years there. The next one would be at the door applies Elizabeth Leisinger. Not to sign papers for the Homeowners Loan Association. So they lost it. This is Imler's house. And the house on down the road behind that. And where leaders lived. And the next house down is where Reese Harker, who lived on the corner, built that house and moved. Going back up to Watson Street now. Right there under that street light on that corner. I spent many evenings playing marbles, starting a game to follow the leader was run away. Walking down Bedford Street south, that was a lane that led down to this two-track lane that led to the left. As you get down to where that house is, the barn. Right before you got to the barn, you made a left and went down to Small Creek. If you crossed that creek and went over and up the side of the mountain, you can't switch.
I'm taking a picture of the beautiful house that I used to live in.
Oh, really?
Grew up, yeah, right across the street.
Oh, what's your name?
Gardner. And it was Charlie Gardner's son. Matter of fact, he built the house, and then he lost it in the road.
Oh, I see.
I was just going through the old neighborhood. Reese Hockman lived in that house. And then he built the house down, next one down. This house smells real good. First part was back here. And Ford, then Ford. This house. Is that right?
We're looking at the house, which the front of it has been changed some with an addition on the front. Mom and Dad lived in, I think it was a basement apartment. I guess it's a basement apartment. This was not long after they were married. I was very young. As a matter of fact, it was down in front of that my Uncle Donald pushed me. And off the curb right there at that intersection. The story Mom used to, Donald or one of them, both of them used to like to tell me they were trying to kill me, dump me out of the baby carriage. Billy Fiann's store. I guess maybe my memories are sort of a John Listman type store, loaded with dirt and dust and cobwebs. I think Renew McGarbrick's book, her short chapter on that might give you a better feeling of what it was and what he was. Move on up from there. I'm not sure what these others are supposed to be. Get up to the Fort Bedford Hotel, something that's easily overlooked. As I remember, when Dad was a kid, a friend that he knew, and of course he hasn't realized that he was in the automobiles, darted across the street into the side of a car, or into the front of it. He was knocked down, jumped up to his feet, ran down from that corner up there, which is about where it happened, where the intersection is, the light. Ran down to either this hotel or the house next door. Of course, these have all changed over the 50 years or so since it happened, 60 years. And that's where they found him sitting. He was in a sitting position, dead. The place that we lived was on North 5th Street. There's a fairground, and that's the house. One time we lived in an upstairs apartment to the rear, followed by moving down to the front apartment on the lower floor. We're looking at the house now. And some changes made, but next door, Mace Bullington, he later built the house mentioned before Street. As we look up to the top of the hill, which was Barclay's property, next, as we come down the hills, I can remember it's a White House that was Marshall's, the black family, and the barn stood right this side of it. That house for sale where the woman scrubbing the floor was grandfather's house. It had a porch on it. This next house was my Uncle Fred's house. It was later built in the late 40s sometime. And this vacant lot right on the corner of Union and Grand Street was where my Uncle Fred originally, my Uncle Fred, my granddad's brother, originally had his house. Able to remember the names here. I know that the house this side of the big tree, that one right there was a black family named Washington. Albert Washington was one of the boys that lived in there. There was a house, which I can't see on the other side. I think there's a man sitting on the porch. His name was Orange Gordon. We have a little story connected with that. Hank Kenny's starving to death when he was a baby. Finally on a diet of bananas and recovered his appetite and went on to become what he is today. This house, Millers lived in. Elsie Miller I went to school with. She later married Clyde Gardner. They live around somewhere. Down to the corner of Union and Grant Street. And right offhand, I can't remember the name of the man, the woman that lived there. He was a bicycle repairman. He had a bicycle shop right down the line we're looking at now. I remember he had a daughter that I think she was a teacher or something long before my time. Then we swing around and we're looking at the back of the elementary school, none of which we're looking at now was here when I went to school. At the corner of Grant and Watson Street, just about 50 feet away from where I was standing, looking at another corner of the same addition to the school, and then at the original school, which I attended. The corner, right-hand corner, and that window in the right-hand corner was Mrs. Knight's room, and that's where I went to in first grade. You see the long black iron fence that surrounds the school. Most of it's still intact and in pretty good shape. Now, as I swing around on Watson Street, we're passing Quentin Hammer's property, which was a spook property, which when I was a kid, an old black man and woman, both slaves lived there, ex-slaves. She always had candy for us kids. And now the grand finale. This is the house in which I was born. Lived in for a short time, I guess, as a baby. My Uncle George and Aunt Elva Gardner took it over, and they lived there. My Aunt Elva did until she left there a few years ago, about 80 years old, to go into the senior citizens apartments from there to Donohue. The man that lived in that house was an ex-coal miner, crippled on the left side, I think it was, laying in the seams digging coal. His name escapes me. Of course, as we look beyond the house, there was all chicken houses at that time. Barclay's Chicken House, which led up to Barclay's Woods up back of this house. That's where it all started for me. Now I've moved down another 75 feet or so from where I took the last pictures. I'm swinging around. This house has been completely remodeled. It was just a square, always neat and clean, chicken down the back. We looked down what was an alley out to Green Lane. It's now paved and there's houses built along one side of it. Of course, the next house I'm not too familiar with. I remember Snyder's lived here, and Snyder's had bought a brand new Oakland, wooden spoke wheels. I remember when my dad and down to take a look at it. Corner of Juliana Street and Watson, there's another house. A couple of boys lived there. I don't know if there's any girls, but I'm sure Abington will remember the name. Right now it escapes me. On the corner of Watson and Juliana Street, I'm taking another view of the picture I just described. Still don't remember the name of the people that lived there. I'm going to swing around to the opposite corner, and there's the front at grammar school. My dad went to that school. I went to that school. That corner we're looking at there right now was first grade. Miss Knight was my teacher. My first experience with school. Some of the other grades I'm a little rusty on where they were located. I think Ada Henry, or not Ada, Madeline Henry had her class in that grade, in that corner right there. And as I remember, there was another teacher, sports, Bowers, and I think her classroom was up there. It was a 6th grade teacher. We went from 1st to 6th grade in the school, and then went into junior high school, down where the high school is located. As we swing around and look south on Juliana Street, I'm not going down there. It isn't that far down the street, maybe about 6 or 8 houses. About where that car is parked, you just see the edge of it, the trees, the Norma Garber. Most awful. She was my English teacher and was written a book growing up in Bedford, which I can readily adapt myself to work directly in front of the school. Swing up there and see if we can get the common school. There's a date there, and I see another little plaque over. I think I'll walk up and see what it says. I think that says Union Schoolhouse, 1859. Of course, I'm not aware of the significance. From the school down to Juliana Street, taking a picture across the street at the graveyard of the Methodist Church. It covers, there's only one house on the corner. The rest of that block is graveyard with the church in the middle of the street that runs at right angles. That was the church that my grandmother Gardner was registered in, but never, very rarely attended. I only know that that was her church, was told. But along this graveyard, one time, there was a fence on the ground with different kinds of vines. And this one, Norma Garber described in her book, where they attempted to scare, or apparently did scare someone pretty violently. Here's another shot of the school. And then looking down Juliana Street towards the square, I'm going to end this portion, the saga of Don Gardner in Bedford.
We'll take care of transferring it.
Well, we have it on our
You need an explanation.
Gee, does this mean the VCR is coming tonight?